Hello everybody, welcome to the fourth tutorial video. This one is going to be on saving and loading data. Obviously that's extremely important for an RPG, and my last game, The Barbarian, I did it wrong. I used player prefs a lot, and it's a pain in the bum, and it's really difficult. I came across this wonderful tutorial from this is from the live webcast lessons done by Mike Geig, the wonderful and talented Mike Geig. So a huge shout out to Mike for this wonderful tutorial. I used this heavily in the code that you've got in the package here. So it has been translated to JavaScript. I did that earlier today. That always helps me understand what exactly is going on and helps me learn some new things here and there too. And maybe one day it'll help me learn C#, which is something I really need to do. So this is where we left off. We had our mobile controllers here. There's a few things I've changed, or added rather, and for this. I've added up here in the top corner a health and experience and a save and load button. That's just this player panel stats right here. The text is pretty simple, and then the save button just calls player panel, and there's a save game and a load game, which we'll go into in a second. First, let's look at our new control option for player control. This one just has two static variables, health and experience. In-game, when we're playing the game, we'll keep data here for the player health. There will be more controls for more objects later, but for now we just wanted a simple thing to keep a couple of variables, and these of course are the same health and experience from that tutorial with Mike Geig at the Unity site. So we keep those there, and then we have a new save control. Save controller with the script save control. This is the script that pulled heavily from that tutorial. We have two static functions here and a public class. The static functions do two things. One, the save function creates a new binary format object, I suppose. Again, this stuff I don't completely understand, but it basically creates a file in the application persistent data path, which works on all devices except for the web player, called playerinfo.dat, and it saves all this data in the binary format. And then we create a new instance of player data, and we populate that with the health and experience, and we're also saving the game minute time, all the game time. That's in time control, of course. I'm probably going to get rid of time code, just so you know. I'm not really using it. I don't see the point of it anymore. But I'll keep it in there for now, but I'm probably going to get rid of it. So I'm saving all that stuff as well. Finally, once those are populated, we serialize, which is basically save the file, the data to the file, and then we close the file, and print a little callback there just so we know something happened. The load function is very similar. Instead of file create, we're doing file open, file mode open. I'm not sure what that is, but that's what it needs to be. And then we load data, a new instance of data of our class player data called data, and we load that file into it. Then we close the file because we don't need it anymore. Next, we repopulate our variables with that data. So player control health and experience get those variables, and the time control gets that. That's pretty much it. One thing to note is the name of this right here, playerinfo.data. That's something you can create yourself in a future tutorial. Maybe the next one, I'm not sure. We're going to create a menu where we can create new saved games and delete saved games and all that good stuff, so we can save multiple games, and the user can call the game whatever they want to call it, and that's so much better than the version I have in my game, and now I'm thinking I need to go back and fix it, which is going to be a pain in the ass, but I might just do it because it's totally worth it. At some point also, I plan on figuring out how to get that file into a www stream so that you can actually upload it to your server or an Amazon S3 bucket and save it. Perhaps you can have your users have a username and password account system so that they could actually save the game on desktop, then download that save file to their mobile device, continue playing on their mobile device, go back and forth. that could be a really cool feature, something that I would love to use as a player. Um, that's something I'll look into as well. Let's see how this works. Right here we have it loads on start right here. This is with our player panel. Just I wanted to load the game on start. You can remove that if you don't want it to happen. So we've got our time happening. It's going every couple seconds. It increases by 1 minute. And we added a week counter, by the way. And just in case your game starts with those all going to 0, because when it loads it will have no data to save, so that's something that you'd have to, when you create a game, you have to populate some of the variables. But so just in case when yours starts out at 0, hey, what's going on? I did add a new debug option. If you put down C, it resets the timer. Just sets the timer to these default numbers. There's 2 other keys in that debug. If you hit the number 4, the health goes up, and if you hit number 5, experience goes up. So now we've got these set to 200, 200, and it's now 8:41 a.m. So we're going to click the save button. There it is, saved. Now I'm going to increase these a whole bunch, just a whole bunch, and then I'm going to click the load button, and it snaps back. Basically resets those to the load, and of course it continues going on the timer. That's all still going, and then we press stop. It loads again on, so that'll be 200, 200. So that's the saving and loading. That's all it is. There's one other thing that I did add that has nothing to do with saving and loading, but it also came from that tutorial. Under my control objects, which is the object that has all my controllers in it, I added this little function here on awake that says don't destroy on load, and we've got our variable control objects, and right here, if the static variable is not populated, then we're going to populate it with this game object. Otherwise, if it is populated but it's not this game object, then we're going to destroy this game object. And that way, every scene I have, I decide I'll have this control object attached to it, and that way, if I load any scene based on where the player was, all these will be there. All these will run just like normal, and I won't have to worry about creating one in some loader scene or anything like that. Eventually, there's going to be a controller, a lot more controllers, and all that. So this is something for the future to make things a lot easier in the future, basically. So I'm going to save this once more and end this video.